Hello there, my crypto bit brothers. As you can see here, I'm with Ron, Papa Ron, and I'm Bulldog Rod, and we're glad to see you for a change.
We're here
together. Yeah.
It's nice to have you here, Rod, too.
Yeah, the weather finally got beautiful. 70 degrees today here in Utah. It's awesome.
Utah. Well, folks, the last video or two we've been talking about, it's been on, I don't know, banks and stuff, but there's just so many articles that we see the headlines all about regulating this, government's regulating that. And so Rod and I got talking a little bit this morning about, regulations. And is it really for our safety like they claim? Or does it do more to benefit them than it does really
us,
those that are involved with crypto?
As any new thing, the government feels like they got to stick their hands in because they're trying to protect us.
Yeah, right. But and even though I have an opinion on this, Rod, my opinion is that there should be very little regulation. But yet on the other hand, we look at ICOs and, and I know that's changed over the months, but it used to be, man, you came up with an ICO and these people like us that are speculating, they would throw millions of dollars at these new companies, knowing that once it gets an exchange, it'll probably go up and we'll make profit. But that has kind of changed, and a lot of these ICOs aren't performing. A lot of them are going out of business before their end result is due. And
they get their $1 million and then they run. They don't even have anybody. That's why you got to be sure that when you look at these ICOs, make sure they got a big people behind them. What's it called? A team together and in place, and that each one of them have a little blurb about what their qualifications are. Make sure they're running good. But we don't do that. We just say, "Oh, that sounds good. I'm gonna put some money into it," and then we lose, and then we complain. We go to Big Brother, and we start going wah wah wah.
Yeah, we want our money back. Yep. Yeah. Well, do you know how the SEC started?
No.
It was actually after, I think it's before the Great Depression in the U.S. There was a big, I can't remember, but anyway, because of the banks all went down, the government formed the SEC in the hopes of providing information on businesses and banks and so on to the public, to the investors, that they said there's got to be certain information that these people are allowed to look at.
Yeah.
Your financials, and to do their due diligence to see if it's worth investing in. And that's kind of the mission of the SEC, to make sure that this information is available to us and that it's truthful. Now, I think it's gone further than that nowadays. So in that sense, I can kind of see that, if these ICOs come up, and that's why none of these ICOs want to participate in the USA, because they got to conform to what the SEC's saying. That, hey, we need to know what's going on so these investors can check you out. And the team members.
Right.
Are they really got that
degree or whatever,
background or whatever that they saying they are? So I kind of see that, but yet I still blame us as a people, in my opinion, of why they feel we need that. And it's because we don't do our due diligence.
No, we don't.
We listen to these dang YouTubers and think that they got it all figured out and we're just going to follow them into the fiery pits.
When you listen to us, don't do that.
Yeah. you got to do your own homework. It's just like we throw so many millions at an ICO, and they print out the white paper and they give you a roadmap. This is what we're going to do, and it's right. But to me, I'd like to see those ICOs put those funds into a trust account, and as they perform, they get part of those funds out. And if it goes belly up or they don't perform, then that smart contract delivers those funds back to the investors.
Yeah.
And things like that would happen if we didn't invest till it did happen. If we, you know what I mean? It says, no, we're not coming into these just because you say this is what you want to do. The project sounds good and all that. And so anyway, it brings on the regulations. It brings the SEC saying, hey, we got to regulate all this stuff, the ICOs, the exchanges, and before you know it, we're going to agree with that. And then before you know it, they want to regulate the wallets. and become more centralized. And what would that do to us?
Oh,
Yeah, we definitely don't want that.
because the wallets will act like a savings account in a bank, and we don't want that.
Right. There's control then. So anytime there's misuse, anytime there's any fraud, they want to step in and say, hey, we've got to clamp down on this.
Yeah.
But yet, and we've shown in previous videos, it's the bankers are the biggest frauds anyway.
Yeah.
And they're all under, I just trying to find an article today on Wells Fargo Bank.
Yeah.
They're about, and same with, anyway, that big bank in Germany we just did a thing on.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Dutch.
Anyway, these guys are struggling too. And
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if
it's
you...
all over the world. It's just not us. Our
Right,
banks.
yeah.
Any high forming country, I guess. I don't know. Look at Cyprus, they ran to look at Greek, the whole country.
Well, prior to that, you're right. And let's talk about that. I think I got something pulled up on, but prior to that, in 2007, 2008, we needed major bank bailouts in this country to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yep.
To save these banks, and they became known as, hey, they're just too big to fail. What a crock. I think if they'd have let them all topple, we'd have probably a much sounder system right now and all that. But these banks rescued themselves, and then it went to, you just mentioned it. Cyprus, they had what they called the bail-ins.
Bail-in, yeah.
Folks, have you heard of that before or not?
Yeah.
A bail-in is where they say, hey, the government comes in and says, yeah, so they shut the banks down. They're underwater. They're not enough liquidity. So instead of getting a bailout from government, they get a bail-in from their customers.
Yep.
So they tap the customers' bank accounts, and I don't know how many of you folks remember this in Cyprus. It was a big deal.
That happened in 2011.
Yeah, people were standing outside. They were fit to be tied. And if it was a not secured or not insured bank account, they could take up to 48% of that account to save the bank and the bankers. And yet these bankers continually give themselves huge bonuses.
Yeah.
All these, it's just ridiculous. But we kind of put that up, Rod, I think.
Okay.
So we got talking, hey, is it the same in the U.S. as in some of these other countries? And we found this, says, yeah, it is. Bank deposit bail-in law is the biggest threat to the average USA and G20 savers. Now, this is written back in March of 16.
That's 2 years ago.
Yeah, but when was Greece going through all their
11.
thing? Well, they've since passed laws to where they can actually do the same to any U.S. bank customer here, too.
Yep. We just read that. That's what this says.
Yeah, and if you read the article, it talks about, and even the FDIC, we claim, no, our accounts are insured by the FDIC. I think I've read in the past where the FDIC they only have enough money to probably save 3% of the bank accounts in this country on reserve.
Yeah.
They can't do it, folks. If you think your money's protected, it's not.
No.
How did we get off onto this from regulations?
I don't know. But it is good.
But I think I'm going to blame us as crypto people for why there's been people that have been scammed already and why the government says we need more regulation. Because we haven't stuck to our guns to say, hey, you want my money, you need to have some accountability there.
Right.
But until then, I can see how, we need these ICOs and some of these exchanges to divvy up some information.
The thing about it is, if we don't want Big Brother watching us make an investment like in an ICO, because if you lose for an ICO, isn't it your fault because you put it in? You trusted somebody you didn't even know? I mean, to me, common sense tells me I don't want to do that. But if you're a whaler and he's got a he's got a big friend over here put in $1 million in ICO. Says, yeah, you need to do this. It'd be good. So you put in another $1 million, and then you lose that money. Then those big guys, because they know somebody in Washington or something, they're gonna go whine to him. You know, I don't mean drink wine. I mean whine. But then again, if you lose your money, how many times you got to lose? What does Confucius say? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. You're only going to do it one time, then you will be probably doing your homework. But then maybe there's people who do it 3 or 4 times because they're too stupid. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. They're too stupid to look at it.
That's right.
I don't know.
But the more we get government involved in this stuff, the more it becomes centralized. And that's the fear. It might start with ICOs, and we see the justification in that. We need to have some rules and regulations on those. But yet then, just like everything else, it bleeds right over into the exchanges.
That's right.
Then maybe our wallets and
everything.
And pretty soon, it's all run by the government. Because
especially now, if the IRS can, we reported the other day, the IRS can check your accounts now on at least on the American exchanges to find out if you owe any taxes or not. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, regulation is good. I still think it's not good. We need some right now because, like Rod just said, there's too many people that just aren't doing their homework and stuff, but yet we do believe that, hey, the regulations there are to get control, to benefit the bankers and the government people and all that, and it's just important we stay decentralized.
Yeah, just stay decentralized as much as you can. That's what we're doing.
And part of that, we mentioned the exchanges, and I have a son-in-law and daughter that keep all their money on an exchange, and I don't care how many times I've told them, you guys are not wise. That's right. Living dangerous. Perfect. These exchanges, if everybody cashed out what they had, they don't have enough crypto to pay everybody out. It's like the stock market. They sell a stock to a company multiple times. Same with an ounce of silver
and gold.
It's all sold. That's right. It's sold multiple times. So get your money off the exchanges. It makes it for a more truer, fairer crypto industry.
Get you some kind of ledger, nano ledger, or some kind of electronic thing, or paper ledger, something. Just take it off an exchange.
It's not that hard to find a good wallet and keep it off.
Not.
Folks, thanks. Appreciate you listening.
We do. We really appreciate all you guys, and give us a thumbs up when you can. In fact, give us a thumbs up anyway, like us or not, and we appreciate you, and God bless.